Hello everyone, welcome to another of our Talk Travel episode that's designed to inspire you, give you plenty of information in these times when we are absolutely desperate to get away. Now, don't forget that we are live and therefore you are free to ask questions whenever you want. You just use the chat bubble at the bottom of your screen, type in your message, and we'll pick up those messages and answer them at the end of this presentation. Now, because I can see that we've got some regular clients here, but we've also got some new to Delmar, so bear with me. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about ourselves. So Delmar World is a family business. We were formed in 1964. We're an independent travel agency. We're very proud of ourselves because we feel that we offer a very different service than your average travel agent. One of our main differences is that we have a team of worldwide specialists who are very well trained, and they've also been lucky enough to visit, specialise in, whether that's countries or whether they've had a lot of experience in the holiday types like cruising. When you are thinking of going away, very often you have an idea of what you want, but you want somebody to actually sort of put a little bit more detail together. And we start off by meeting with you, getting to know you, finding out what it is that you're expecting to get out from your holiday, what your interests are. And from there, we use our knowledge and expertise to put a proposal together for you to make an informed choice. Now, our customer service is something that we are exceedingly proud of, and I'm very happy to say that we've won many awards over the years. One that we are proud of is the FIFA Gold Award, because that is voted for by our customers. So we're delighted with that. But this Friday, we're also on hooks a little bit because we are a finalist for the best travel agency in Wales. So we'll know on Friday whether we've got that. Keep your fingers crossed for us. One of the things as well about using a good travel agent is not just the knowledge, not just the customer care as such, but it's also about the partners that we work with. As an independent agency, we can use many different operators, but we choose very, very carefully who we do work with. They have to have the same ethos as us. They have to have a very strong customer care ethos, and they have to also produce good, consistent quality of product and holiday experience. It's because very often we meet with tour operators who will come up with some very exciting, innovative and new ways of holidaying. And sometimes it's easy for us to get a bit stuck in a rut and think, well, we know what we like, we'll stick with the same company, the same product, and keep going back year after year, because nobody wants to take a chance on not enjoying a holiday. But that's where we come in, because we introduce you to those new and exciting holiday ideas. That actually brings me very nicely to where we're up to today, because I met with Tradewind about a month ago, and Katie introduced me to this wonderful, unique product, which I'm very excited to share with you. Tradewind Voyages have the largest square-rigged sailing vessel called the Golden Horizon, and it will be following the ocean's natural course around the world, starting from the UK this June. And here to tell us about it today is Katie, very aptly named Harbour. Welcome, Katie. To welcome to you to us today, and you're going to tell us a little bit more about Tradewind.
Absolutely, yes. So I'm going to start off by sharing my screen, and then I would like to take you through who Tradewind Voyages are, our beautiful ship Golden Horizon, and also our itineraries as well. So as Anne mentioned, we are Tradewind Voyages. We started off in early 2020, we heard and kind of realised the impact that COVID was going to have on the world. However, we've persevered, and as a brand new company, we've managed to make the changes that are completely necessary within the COVID rules and regulations of today. So I'm going to start off by sharing a video with you. If my computer wants to work. There we go. And there she is, Golden Horizon, on her sea trials last year with all 5 of her sails up. So here at Tradewind Voyages, we will follow the ocean. We want our guests to see the world and experience the sea in a different way. Our philosophy is all about the ocean's journey and Mother Nature and letting her be our compass. And you'll see that reflected in our itineraries as well. So all we ask from you is a sense of adventure, and we will take you on a maritime journey that you'll never forget. So here at Tradewind Voyages, we are really proud of the majestic ship that we have. She's going to be taking you on some fabulous experiences to take you on one of our adventures. So to give you an idea of some of the specifications for our ship, the Golden Horizon is the largest square-rigged sailing ship in the world. And I'm not sure if any of you have sailed on a sailing ship before, but when we have the sails up and the wind catches underneath the sails, the ship lifts out of the water and it really feels like you're gliding across the ocean. It's an amazing experience and one that we really want to share with you. Golden Horizon is a 1913 ocean vessel called the France II. She was a famous tea clipper in the Victorian era, and she took cargo across the world. And that's something that we want to kind of replicate here as well. We have 140 cabins on board and all enjoy an ocean view or their own private balcony. We have a maximum guest number of 272, so we're taking really small guest numbers to remote locations. Our crew, we have 159 crew on board, test to crew ratio of 1 to 1.7. So we're able to offer that extra level of service on board to really give you that luxurious feel. And first and foremost, we are a sailing ship. So we want to retain the charm and the romance of a historic sailing ship, but with those modern luxurious twists of a cruise ship. We have great big expansive decks on board, which means we're able to offer the highest levels of safety when it comes to social distancing. We also have small guests and really remote locations. So we will be following CLIA's guidelines. So when CLIA announces all of the guidelines with regards to COVID, we will be following them and adhering and going above and beyond any COVID guidelines that we will need to. So here at Tradewind Voyages, our philosophy is part of everything that we do. So we believe ocean voyages should be powered by nature wherever possible. So our philosophy is simple but unique, and we will use the winds around the globe to take you to magical beaches and beautiful iconic port destinations as well. So we'll intend to sail without using our engines for around about 70% of each season, really making for a true sailing experience. And one thing we would like our guests to do, if they so wish, is to help with the sailing of the ship. So the steering wheel that you can see behind Anne there is actually functional. So you will be able to, be invited to join our officers in the sailing of the ship. And what a brag, steered the world's largest square-rigged sailing ship. Obviously, you will be under officer's supervision, so you can't just take the ship wherever you'd like to go. But we want you to get involved as much as possible. Our ship Golden Horizon also has ice classification, which is quite surprising. So we're able to go where other ships can't. And that brings me on to our really exciting itineraries. So to give you a bit of background about how we plan our itineraries, what we do is we take out the big maritime chart, the winds, and that is how we plan our itineraries. So we see where the winds will be behind us and where we can get the best sailing experience for you. And that plans our itineraries. So as Anne mentioned, we will be sailing from the UK from the 22nd of June. We have 8 really exciting voyages which will be taking you around the British waters and also overseas to Norway and Denmark. So I'm going to give you a rough idea of whereabouts we'll be travelling to. From the 22nd of June, we will be leaving from Portsmouth, off the coast of England, around Weymouth, Fowey, Dartmouth and Poole. We will then be leaving from Harwich on our circumnavigation of Great Britain. And this is split up into 5 different voyages, which we're really excited about, and they vary between 4 to 9 nights. So our first voyage is the Eastern Coastal Contrasts, which will take us from Harwich and up the east coast of the UK, calling in at Whitby, Newcastle, before we get to Leith, which is the port for Edinburgh. Then from Edinburgh, we will be British Discovery, travelling from the east to west, calling in at ports such as Aberdeen, Invergordon, Ullapool, Tobermory and Fort Ellen as well, before we get to Glasgow. And then from Glasgow, we'll be going on a really beautiful Scottish island discovery, taking in the west coast gems of Scotland. So calling in at Tobermory, Ullapool, Portree, Port Ellen. And then from Glasgow, we will then be heading down south, calling in at the maritime cities of the northwest. We're calling it iconic Belfast and Liverpool. So really one for those guests that are really interested in the maritime history of the UK. We'll then be embarking on probably my favourite UK voyage, which is rounding the Southwest Peninsula. Now here we'll be leaving from Liverpool and heading down to your area of Wales, so calling in at Holyhead, before we'll get to the Isle of Man. Then we'll be heading down the south coast, calling in at the Scilly Islands, and then Dartmouth, Falmouth, before we then get back around to Harwich. We then have a really exciting itinerary which will take us to Cowsweek. So within Cowsweek on the Isle of Wight, we will have an overnight stay there. We've actually got the prime spot right at the front of the marina. So you can just imagine yourself sitting on the top deck, watching the fireworks, surrounded by all of the yachts, in front of all of these sailing enthusiasts. It'll be absolutely fantastic. We'll then also be calling at Dartmouth and Falmouth and some really historic maritime ports along the south coast. From there, we will also then be heading out to Norway on this voyage. It's a beautiful 7-night itinerary which will take you around the fjords, calling in at Stavanger, Rosendal, and we will also be sailing down the longest fjord in Norway. I'm not going to try and pronounce it because my Norwegian isn't fantastic. And then we'll be going on a Danish, beautiful Denmark voyage, which will take in some really beautiful Danish cities such as Copenhagen, Skagen and Aalborg as well. Some really iconic destinations within Denmark. From there, that takes us to the August. And we will then be taking Golden Horizon down through the Mediterranean, so really making the most of these sails. So we have 3 voyages from August through to September, which will take us from Harwich on the east coast of England, down through France, calling in at Spain, St Helier, Lorient, La Coruña. Then we'll be embarking on our southern Spain and Morocco Explorer. Some really interesting ports here. So calling in at Tangier, Almeria, Palma as well, before we then, which is the Italian Discovery. This is a beautiful itinerary which will take you around some of the Italian islands such as Sardinia and Sicily, before calling in at Sorrento, and then we will get to the Adriatic, where we will be then calling in at Dubrovnik for our turnaround port of Split. Our next collection is our owners collection. So our owners are Croatian, and they helped us build these itineraries with their knowledge of the islands and the surrounding areas of and beautiful ports. And believe me, the ports around Croatia really do look like the images that are on my screen. Fantastic places to visit. So we'll be also calling in at some of the really smaller destinations. So destinations such as Vis and Bol on Brack Island, which other cruise ships can't get into because we are a smaller ship. We'll also be calling in on our first voyage into Kotor. And this is probably one of my favourite places within the Mediterranean. When you're sailing through the Mediterranean, it feels like you're surrounded by these mountains, and it's absolutely spectacular. The small town of Kotor as well is stunning. It's a walled city, as like a lot of the cities within the Adriatic, and it is absolutely stunning. So we've got 3 different voyages here, which will take us on one voyage which will go from Split to Split, so calling in at Hvar, Dubrovnik, Kotor, Korčula, Vis, before we then get back to Split. We then have our Venetian and Adriatic discovery voyage, which leaves from Split and calls in at some so Vis, Kornati, Zadar, and we have an overnight in Zadar as well. So it really allows you to get in, to experience the Zadar in the evening as well, because I don't think you know a place until you've spent an evening there with all of the shops and cafes and restaurants opening. We will then be ending this voyage in Venice. So we will be sailing the world's largest square rig sailing ship down the Grand Canal, which is going to be an absolutely incredible experience. And then from Venice, which will then be embarking on our last of our Owner's Collection voyages, which takes us back round the Adriatic to Ravinia, Pula, Zadar, before we then get back to Split. And then from Split, we'll then be taking the ship over to warmer climes for October and taking her to Dubai. So we have a Med and passage through the Suez Canal voyage, which takes you from Split around the Greek islands, so calling it Kefalonia, Crete, Kalamata, and for Alexandria. Then we will transit the Suez Canal, and then we will have an overnight in Safaga. So it's a fantastic opportunity to really experience the history of the Greek islands and Egypt with visiting the Valley of the Kings and also the pyramids too, before we then get to our turnaround port of Sharm el-Sheikh. So fantastic opportunities there to have a couple of nights in Split to begin with, and then a couple of nights relaxing on a beach in Sharm el-Sheikh. We then have our Dubai collection, and we're really excited. We're actually going to have all-inclusive drinks. So our 2 voyages will be in and out of Dubai, and this will be in November. So our Dubai voyages will take us around Doha, so Banias Island and Abu Dhabi, also into Muscat and Kasab as well. Some really fantastic opportunities to visit the Grand Mosque and also visit the desert and kind of extra areas, visit the gold areas of Dubai as well. So one to get your purse out to buy. We'll then be taking our ship through the passage to Singapore. So we're taking the ship from Dubai and we'll be sailing her from Dubai through Oman before we get to Singapore. Now this is one for sailors. This will be a fantastic experience, and we'll have the sails up, we'll be at full pelt sailing over to Singapore. So a fantastic opportunity to experience Golden Horizon in all her glory. We'll then be embarking on some Indonesian islands kind of discovery voyage, a taste of the East Indies, which leaves from Singapore and then calls in at various different Indonesian islands. We'll then have a voyage which takes us from the Indonesian islands over to Australia. So we'll be calling in at Bali, Lombok, Komodo Island, so you can visit the Komodo dragons before we then get round to Darwin and to Cairns. And that brings us swiftly on to our Australian circumnavigation. So this takes us from December through to 2. It's a fantastic opportunity to spend Christmas somewhere a little bit warmer than this year. Our Christmas voyage is the Great Barrier Reef and Gold Coast festivities. So we'll be leaving from Cairns on the 22nd of December. And for Christmas Day, we will be sailing around the Whitsunday Islands. So we have 3 different Whitsunday Islands that you'll be able to kind of explore within Christmas, on Christmas Day, sorry. and you can just imagine yourself snorkeling off Whitsunday Islands on Christmas Day. Then for New Year off the Gold Coast for fireworks, you'll be able to watch the fireworks off the Gold Coast. We'll then be embarking on a Southern Australian and Tasmanian adventure from Sydney down the south coast, and we'll be doing a circumnavigation of Tasmania, so calling in at Hobart, but also some other smaller ports within Tasmania before we then get to Adelaide. Then from Adelaide, we'll be heading on our remote Southwest Australia voyage, which will take you from Adelaide to Perth. And then from Perth, we'll be heading to the Indonesian islands, so calling in at some of the Australian ports such as Jurien Bay, Geraldton, before we get through to Bali for our next kind of collection, which is our Indian Ocean voyages. So we'll be taking you from Bali across the Indian Ocean, so having some really beautiful ports called Christmas Island, before we then get to Mauritius. It's a fantastic opportunity to have some pre and post stays there. Then from Mauritius, will be, now this is one for all of you wildlife enthusiasts. We'll be calling in at Lima Island before we then get to Dar es Salaam in Tasmania. So it's Tanzania, sorry. It's a fantastic opportunity for you to have the pre-stay on Mauritius and have that beach stay, and then have a safari in Tanzania as well. And Anne and the team at Delmar World will be able to package this up for you with some fantastic opportunities. Then from Tanzania, we will be heading across the Indian Ocean to the Seychelles. So again, another fantastic opportunity to have your safari and then have a beautiful beach stay in the Seychelles afterwards. We then have a really popular 6-night island hopping voyage. So each day we will be stopping off at a different Seychelles island for you to be able to experience the water sports on board and also just relax on the beaches that the Seychelles have to offer. Then from the Seychelles, we'll be heading across the Indian Ocean back over to Sri Lanka. But before we get to Sri Lanka, we will of course be stopping off at a few different Maldivian islands. Then from Sri Lanka, we will then be heading to Kuala Lumpur. Now, this is all of our voyages that we have on sale at the moment. It takes us up to the end of April 2022. But keep your eyes peeled. Within the next month or so, we will be releasing our brand new itineraries, which we are very excited about. So please keep your eyes peeled for those. So I'd just like to take an opportunity now just to explain about life on board and what you can expect when you come on board Golden Horizon. The most important thing to me is the dining, and we feel a grand experience. So our onboard dining will offer something for all tastes and preferences. So we'll include healthy eating, sustainability and well-being, but we'll also have alongside some classic dishes as well. We'll always try and use fresh local produce, and we will create menus which are relevant to the region that you're sailing in to really immerse you in the culture of the areas that you're sailing to. And our beautiful dining room, which is the picture on the left-hand side there, I'm sure you'll agree, is absolutely stunning. So lots of different areas for you to be, and throughout your voyage we will have an enrichment program. So we will be getting on board resident speakers which are experts within the area that you're sailing to. We'll also then be having guest speakers on board to kind of enhance your experience, so whether it's on maritime history, astrology, or lots of different areas as well. We also have a spa on board. This is all included in the fare, and you're able to unwind in our onboard spa, which boasts a sauna, hammam, snow room and a jacuzzi. Also offer a range of treatments as well, so to include massages, facials. We also have a gym for those of you who are wanting to burn off the extra calories from the dining room. Our bars, we have 2 outside bars, both offering absolutely stunning views. You can just imagine yourself sailing away from some of the beautiful ports we'll be visiting with a gin and tonic in hand with the sails up behind you. It'll be absolutely amazing. We also have a premium beverage bar called De Belliac's, which is stocked with some of the world's finest gins. We have a resident pianist and musical duo, which will be on board to entertain you with a wide range of different music. We'll also be getting local shows and dancers to come on board in different areas, again, to really immerse yourself in the culture. Our ship Golden Horizon has a marina at the back of the ship, and when we're in port and on surprise stops, we will be dropping the marina where it is safe to do so, and you're able to enjoy the water sports that we have on offer. These water sports are there, and they include things such as sailboats, kayaks, windsurfing and snorkel gear. We also have a 3-metre deep dive pool on board, and we will have a dive master as well. So if you are PADI certified, then you are able to go out with our dive master onto different excursions and also practice in the dive pool too. We will be offering a full range of shore excursions. These will be available to pre-book before you get on board, and these will vary between different different as well. So it'll be really something for everybody. Now, to give you an idea of the cabins on board, we wanted to retain the luxury and the charm of a traditional ship. So all 140 cabins enjoy an ocean view, and whilst our deluxe cabins and suites benefit from a private balcony. So we have 4 owner suites on board, 32 deluxe balconies and 104 outside cabins. Of those 104 outside cabins, 6 of those have are suitable for solo. And I'm sure you can agree from the pictures there, they look absolutely beautiful and they are very traditional as well. So here at Tradewind Voyages, we are powered by the winds of change. So our philosophy is built using the winds and the currents, offering you a sustainable way to see the world and a really exciting way to see it as well. We have very small guest numbers, open decks, and we visit really remote locations. We also have a full COVID-19 protection policy in place, which means that if you couldn't travel to the ship due to COVID, then you can transfer your cruise to a different voyage, or you can get a full refund. We also offer full financial protection in that we operate on a trust fund, so your money is fully protected. What's included within the Tradewind Voyages fare? We include all of your food, all of the entertainment on board the vessel. Soft drinks are included throughout your voyage as well, and selected beers and wines are included during meal hours. The use of the gym, the marina and the spa are all included. Your gratuities, service charges and all your port fees and taxes are included as well. The only thing you would have to pay for when you get on board is any shore excursions and any drinks outside of your meal hours. So thank you ever so much for your time. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. There we are. Thank you, Anne. Oh, you're on mute. Oh, Anne, you're on mute. Sorry.
Okay.
There we go.
Hello, can you hear me? Yes.
Yes.
Ground control. Don't we all wish we were on board right now? Isn't that just amazing? You know, that's the second time I've seen that presentation, and really amazing, absolutely gorgeous. Now, I've got a couple of questions that have come through while you've been talking, and one of them is: are the company Tradewinds covered by ABTA? And now I know that you might want to answer this, but I also will come in to that, because I think we've got other arrangements that might link up with yours. So you answer from your point of view. It's a great question. Thank you for that.
Yeah, fantastic question. So Tradewind Voyages are protected by the trust fund. So we operate with a trust fund, and that is how your money is protected within the package travel regulations. When you book through Delmar World, you then get your ABTA and action there. So they will package your flights and your cruise, and they will provide the atoll protection. So Anne, I'm sure you're going to agree with me there.
Yeah, I'm going to expand on that because that was something you said in your presentation. You made some reference to a couple of nights in Split, a couple of nights maybe in Sharm el Sheikh, and using the cruise as obviously the center of the holiday. But when you're going to these wonderful places, you might want to expand on the areas that you're going to. Now, I do know that Tradewinds, that you don't include flights or any other ground arrangements, and that we would put a package together that would go around that. And this is where we marry up beautifully, because with our destination knowledge and the contacts that we've got to buy in those different things, we can put together around the cruise financially protected and exciting itineraries around the cruise. So it's the perfect match. Yeah. Absolutely. So that's you know, that's something that, so think about the Dubai one, because that Dubai collection, so many people want to do 3-4 nights in Dubai. Yeah. And then imagine getting on a cruise from that. So that's something else. The questions are really coming in now, so I'm going to move on, but thanks for that question. What are the chances of the Christmas cruises happening?
So at the moment, they are all good to go. With Australia, we have an agent out there in Australia closely with, who works with the government and the government advice in Australia. Obviously, we are talking, well, 9 months away for that. And things can change. However, at the moment, everything is all good to go within Australia.
Yeah. I think from your side, and certainly from what the UK are saying, you know, we'll be good to go. I think the question is whether Australia will be good to go, and you will only know that nearer the time. But with your COVID guarantee, then that's something that, okay, you'd be hugely disappointed if it didn't happen. But one of the peace of mind that you've got is that you will know in advance, and we can work together in getting something rebooked or refunded. But absolutely, it's nice to have it planned.
Exactly. And I hope you don't like to think about the worst case scenario, but we can always we would look at changing the itineraries around, and we would always come up with some exciting itineraries if needs, but it doesn't ever come to that.
Yeah. If you book direct with Tradewinds, do you not get full protection therefore? I think, you know, that's another question, and I think, yeah, I'm not going to answer that for you, but you know about the different elements around it, so please go ahead.
Of course. So as Anne said, you can only book voyage only directly through Tradewind Voyages. However, you would be fully protected to fund, so we operate with a trust fund called PTS. However, we recommend to visit your local travel agent because they've got the expertise. They are able to recommend to you the best cabin grade, and they can also then package up. So Anne will be able to package up with the different flights and hotels. So if you are looking to do a package with hotels and flights, then please go through, I would always recommend to go through to Delmar World and your travel agent, and they can then give you that atoll protection with the flights.
Yeah. So Casey, just to say that if somebody were to book, for instance, one of the Dubai cruises or any of the ones that required a flight and ground arrangements either side, that whilst the cruise element would be protected through yourself, the arrangements around it would not. So they become disparate, and therefore it is better if we can to book it under the same atoll, the same protected license, and you can only do that with a travel agent. Well, a decent one anyway, that's what I say. So to book through a travel agent for sure, because if you will need flights and a hotel.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the other question that I've got here is dress code. Is there a dress code on board?
So we won't have any formal evenings, and our dress code on board is relaxed elegance. So we know that you haven't, we haven't had the opportunity to dress up for the past years. So we would encourage you to wear comfortable. If you would like to wear a suit, then please do. If you would like to wear a dicky bow and tie, then absolutely. If, however, you just wanted to wear a trousers and a nice top, then of course we would encourage that as well. So it's whatever you feel comfortable with in.
Yeah, I think a lot of quality cruising is going down this route now, of, you know, sort of smart evening wear and giving people the option rather than enforcing a certain dress code on them. So that's nice, and it sort of marries up with a nice casual feel, I would think, of the sailing experience. Now, it's not a huge vessel, is it? And there is only one of them.
There is.
So how is availability at the moment? How are you, you know, how are you seeing sales coming in this sort of uncertain time? Are you seeing the ship filling, and what availability is there?
Yeah, so we are actually seeing that bookings are coming in for all of our voyages. So if you are thinking about it, then it was definitely to book sooner rather than later. With a small ship, we only have 140 cabins, and once they're gone, they are gone. And with our itineraries, all of our itineraries are unique as well. So if there is, you know, a itinerary that you are particularly interested in, then I would definitely recommend booking. Some of our UK voyages, we have already got cabin grades which are sold out. So, you know, that the availability is going, and because we have our full COVID protection and our flexibility as well, it's really quite reassuring and gives you early.
Yeah, thanks for that. Which is the most popular cabin grade? Which are you seeing selling out first?
So our most popular would be our outside cabins, but we do see the suite selling out fast because there are only 4 of them. So if you would like a suite, then definitely best to book as soon as possible.
Well, thank you so much. I am transported. It's been a Wednesday. Thank you very much, Katie, and thank you to everyone for joining us. If you would like any more information, I do actually have the most wonderful brochure here. Can you actually see that? No, I'm just, is it showing? Yeah, it's a Tradewind brochure, and they're quite rare. So if anybody would like one, please indicate in the chat box and we'll make sure that we get it out to you. But yeah, thank you, Kit. As most of you know, our Talk Travel episodes have become really popular. With this, I think this is our 5th, 6th now, and it's gathering interest because I think we just all need to get away. Now, next week we're joined by a company called Trafalgar, and they specialize in guided tours from private to small group to a larger group. And in particular, next week we're going to feature Africa. So we'd love you to join us, same time next week, 12 noon. Please connect with us. We'd love to see you. In the meantime, if you've got any questions at all, any other episodes that we've run, please contact us. We're only the other end of the phone. And from the 12th of April, we'll be opening our doors as well. So that's very exciting. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Bye for now.
Bye-bye. Thank you.